Thanks for downloading a 3CR podcast. 3CR is an independent community radio station based in Melbourne, Australia. We need your financial support to keep going. Go to www.3cr.org.au for more information and to donate online. Now stay tuned for your 3CR podcast.
We're putting up new buildings, we're knocking down the old. We're working in the summer heat and in the winter cold. And the labour power we sell, me boys, for a hard-earned weekly pay produces mighty profits for the greedy MBA. And whether we were born here or born in Italy, in Greece, in Spain or Ireland, in England or Fiji, we all of us are workers, united we must stand, until the wealthy bludgers have been driven from our land. We faced deregistration, it backfired in the face. We're not fooled by arbitration, we won't stay in our place. We hit the bosses hard and fast to win and keep our gains, and break a couple of concrete pours to back our log of claims. So keep your powder dry and hold your head up high. It's class to class and face to face, our limit is the sky. We've got a fighting history and we never will be cowed. Our builders' labour is a name to make a man feel proud.
Good morning from the Concrete Gang, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, 8:55 on your AM dial, 3CR Community Radio, and I said 3CR because I don't know if you've seen it on Spotify. Sometimes my words are a bit mixed up.
3CR.
Yeah, so
Pretty hard to see something on Spotify.
The Pirate in the Tree, 3CR.
yeah, so no, Spotify's got subtitles, and it's funny reading what
Free.
some of them subtitles say. But good morning to everyone out there. Obviously, joining me today, the usual three trees.
Good morning, everyone. How are we?
Good. And we have the Sparrow.
Good morning, team.
And we'll get into the show in a little bit, but we want to cut over to our roving reporter, Housto, he's one of our civil infrastructure organisers. He does all the big major projects at the moment, and he also looks after, some would say, the best people in the union, the scaffolders. So, how you going, Housto?
Hey, how are you, Campo?
Good, brother, good.
Good to hear you brought in the, what would you call, third string? Is that such a thing?
Yeah, I think so. Nah, mate.
Scrape on the bottom of the barrel. How are you, boys?
That's it,
Good, mate.
So before we get on you, and we did it last week with Corey, and we're going to keep doing this sort of stuff, get an organiser on from around the area or someone in the area that tell you what work's going on, what's in the area, if there's any job opportunities coming up, and what's really going on, especially on that big build. You got a fair bit of, you got heaps going on at the moment. So what's happening out there, bro, work-wise?
Absolutely. So myself and Shawnee Daly, we're out there both looking after the North East Link project, which is a massive infrastructure which is connecting up the northern suburbs, which starts off around Greensborough, Wattonia, and then goes all the way through to the Eastern Freeway, similar towards where the East Link was built many years ago. So it's broken down into a lot of big packages, all these multinationals put together. But we've got representation on all sections. There's 5 big sections that we're looking after. Probably the 2 newest ones that we're setting up at the moment is the extension of the Eastern Freeway, which is a lot of earth moving, sound walls, landscaping, drainage, service relocating, which is going to employ a lot of our members. We've also got which is the Tram to Springvale job. We've also got Hoddle to Burke, which is another new project that started up. Very similar in itself. It's towards the end of the project, so it's a lot of sound wall, noise wall, piling, and then, comes that. We've got steel fixing, carpenters, a lot of mobile craneage. I think you touched on it before. I help out another organiser, Drewy, looking after We call them the salt of the earth, the scaffolders.
There's a few old scaffolders. There's no one old scaffolder that lives out.
That's it.
We listen to the show.
Trying to get up to these piers and access to a lot of our work fronts. We've done a really good job, encouraging and, access egress comes with that. Well, obviously, the SCAF is putting in the work to build these stretcher accesses and just to get to areas that we need to access, make sure we can get the workers off safely, which is a massive part for us, health and safety for the workers.
Just on the scaffolders at the moment, is anyone looking for blokes out there? If you're sitting at home listening, is anyone picking up and looking for men at the moment? Any of the opportunities for employment out there, mate? Who's looking for people?
Yeah, your best bet's probably ringing up one of the big three if you're looking to get a crank out in the infrastructure, which is your APS, base and Stilcon. And then in town, you'd be moving, looking for a few of the plays in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's opportunity going around. And also, Harold on here, Camo, big start in Warren with the scaffold meeting. When's the next scaffold meeting coming up, bud?
Okay. So we've got the scaffold meeting coming up in March. It's a must attend for all contract scaffolders. We have our meetings every second month, and the next one for us is going to be in March of this year, which is the last Thursday in March. 8 o'clock down the union office, encouraging all contract scaffolders to come, get involved, and it's your chance to anything you see that we can improve, or if there's any feedback, and just talk about any safety issues or any new bits of gear or anything we don't like the look of. So we can have a chat about how we can fix it.
How good's that? That's a great forum for actually getting out there and hearing it from the people who actually do the job, instead of listening to the people at the top telling everyone down how they should do their job.
On the northeast link, how many members have we got out there, and what's the time frame on the job? How many how long's it going for?
Still got some legs on at Campo, so we're probably looking in some areas minimum of still a couple of years to get it finished. It's all different sections. One's got a large tunnelling package, and we're doing the external works and some internal works for that. So there's still a couple of years on that. The newer project's probably the same, 3 years left on it. Pretty much around the clock. So it's employing a lot of our members. Some, upwards of 500 in some areas, thousands, and then it's all just different throughout, mate, day and night shift.
I'll tell you what, I've driven past it and I've been on the job a couple of times myself, and I'll tell you what, you hear all these reports about working on these big infrastructure jobs, how it's all easy money. There's not one easy job on that thing. You know what I mean? You watch all the excavation, all the precast and all going in, like the scaffold for the piers, the foam workers to be built for those overpasses and that. You're just thinking, this isn't easy. This is very daunting work. And people in the papers are making out like, we're just in there collecting a wage and then we're leaving,
100%.
Exactly right. And especially getting up the hours that we do and getting home the time we do. You get up when it's dark, you get home when it's dark,
And when you think as well on that Eastern Freeway, you're working in close proximity to live traffic all the time. Like, you're taking your life into your hands by getting out there and actually helping build this infrastructure to keep the state going,
Noisy, dusty work,
Isn't that traffic
Absolutely.
We
would be many activities out there that wouldn't be considered high risk work.
100%, bro.
Traffic, we'd have a heap of traffic controllers out there, and they get it. Like Jackie Failgate, she loves giving them a spray on how much they earn, but you stand on one of them highways at 100 k's and dealing with that, and you don't know who's driving the car or what they've been on or what time of day. They're out there 24/7.
Unpredictable, hoping the driver's going to do the right thing,
And when you think about it, at the end of the Eastern Freeway, close to Alexandra Parade, there was a worker killed not too long ago. Wiped out by a car on night. She was on, or he might have been on night shift, and a car just public transport banked straight into him.
Had a death on the West Gate.
That's right.
Melbourne
That's
Road.
right. Yeah.
Just to bring it into perspective, we actually had one recently, probably 2 months ago, on one of the newer areas of the Northeast Link, which is Trad to Springvale, where we had our TCs and TMA and our workers on night shift, and then obviously we put a lot of work into making sure we got protection from errant vehicles. And in this instance, a member of the public actually, drove through the setup, went around one of the pod trucks and came through, and unfortunately passed away because they drove into the back of the pod truck. And, unfortunately our workers actually saw that, so we had Pokey and Emma and that come down, and myself and the crisis team and the shoppies on the job, this really get around the members because, imagine going to work and then seeing a fatality.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We had the same thing on a Mervac job.
Devastating.
Driver comes booming through, hit one of the blokes behind the gate, fractured his skull in 2 places, broken shoulder, broken hip, and that was during the day.
And then you listen to these people as well, outside of our industry, say about the waste of money and all that there. If you left it up to these multinationals and these bosses and that there, they'll turn around and say, we can just put traffic cones in. Traffic cones are enough. You know what I mean? This is where the money goes into protecting the workers who are doing the job to get the job done safely. You know what I mean?
And our members out there on, it's good money and they deserve every cent they're on. But what sort of hours are they average workers doing out there? Like they're big hours, they're big jobs,
weeks, yeah.
They're big weeks. Like what would be an average worker out there hours, Housto? What would be doing like 10-hour days on average?
Yeah, definitely, Campo. You're looking at 10 and 11. Obviously, I won't drop myself into it.
Yeah.
We'd like to say we're sticking to the 56, but it's not the reality out on these jobs because, there are activities that they need to, go past normal hours. And through consultation, we work in and stuff. So, and it's not set hours all the time. You might have an arvo shift and a night shift.
And they're doing, like I said, they're on big money, but they're doing the big hours to get that big money. You know what I mean?
And it's not permanent work. The next shift isn't always guaranteed. You know what I mean?
So
it's not like one of these office jobs you get where you go in and you could be a teacher or an accountant and all that, and take nothing away from them. And you know what I mean? But they would have a bit more job security. You know what I mean? We get paid that little bit more money, obviously, for the dangers that we do. Yeah. But it's not guaranteed work. You know what I mean?
When the job's over, you could be on your arse.
Exactly right.
All right.
Absolutely.
The other quick before you go, Housto. What was I going to say? I was going to ask you something. Before you go, is there many big OCCOs coming up? I know everyone always asks about the OCCOs and all that sort of stuff. Have you got many coming up in the infrastructure stuff?
A couple of OCCOs. Don't know if it right now put me on the spot, but there's a couple of freeway closures and stuff. But down at North East Link, there's not too much interaction with trains at the moment. So
no need for the OCCOs.
Sweet. All right, buddy. We'll let you go, but thanks for your time, mate. And a quick one: have you got any nominees for Scallywag?
Nominees for Scallywags. Actually, there is Westgate Tunnel project that's actually still going. We're still having some issues down there with some asbestos doors.
Oh.
We're going round and round in circles with the project. They imported them, and then it was discovered that it contains asbestos. Project didn't want to remove them. They installed them. They had a plan in place to remove them, and now what they're saying is, let's just drill a couple of holes into it, do some samples, and say that they don't contain asbestos. So I reckon that's a good look into Scallywag of the
week.
I
think they got people to screw signage onto these doors, which is full of asbestos,
Multiple breaches.
Yeah.
That's right. Seriously. So.
The Westgate Tunnel.
That's our fault, though.
I'll give it, eh?
That's our fault.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But, thanks for the call in.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks
buddy.
On your brother. You're doing the Lord's work out there, mate. Well done.
That's it. Take a run around, see the flags flying. Lot of pride on these jobs.
Probably
just finish off with, we're pushing a lot of, CFMEU women, Indigenous, and we just want everyone to have a good earn for their families and safe jobs, and a lot of pride out on these jobs. So a lot of support from the members too, which is great.
On you, Housto.
Good work, mate. Good work.
All right.
That was Housto. Good report, mate. They are doing a stellar of a job out there in that infrastructure. We're getting shot at from everywhere, especially you hear some of the reports. But we'll go into the reports. We might go to a track and then we'll come back and hit into the reports. So,
yep.
Well, I've been down so goddamn long that it looks like up to me. Well, I've been down so very damn long that it looks like up to me. Yeah, why
Oh, the doors. How good's that?
What a
And-
track, eh?
Good pick.
And obviously, we interviewed Housto, which was great. But tragically, we had a long-term shop steward pass away. 3 trees.
Yeah, unfortunately, we only got the mail on Monday there, so unfortunately, we didn't get it on the show. Wayne Hardy was one of our long-term delegates with King Constructions, and he was buried on Friday. Unfortunately, it's a sad time, but look, our best wishes and
Condolences to his
go
family
out
and
to
all
the
that,
family,
and
you know.
all his workmates. Wayne was thought very highly of within the delegate structure, you know, and being a shoppy at Kane Construction, they're not the easiest people to deal with.
No, no.
So, condolences, and like we said, we only found out late. We only found out on Monday, so we didn't actually get it out. So, condolences to his family and his workmates.
Before Christmas, we had our last delegates
Yeah,
meeting.
how good was that?
And Wayne actually came. He stage 4 cancer, I believe, in that there. And he said he wouldn't mind if he could come down and address the delegates, say goodbye to everybody. He says, look, I think I'm on my last legs, and I don't know how he did it, mate, because I was near in tears watching him.
Yeah.
I think he actually had a good day that day.
You know
too.
what I mean? Oh yeah, no, look, I mean that was his last sort of hurrah with all the delegates and that there, and to me, I suppose you wouldn't know until you're in that position, but it's pretty daunting. But God bless him, huh?
God bless him. And if you've been living under a rock, but it's another big week under.
I wish I was
at the CFMEU. But you know, there's a few shots going around. Like,
If there was 15 billion, I'll tell you which rock it'd be on.
be a big one.
Be one of the islands somewhere.
Not Epstein.
Getting a nice tropical drink.
So, obviously, people have come out. The Watson report about the $15 billion. You've got the Victorian Minister of Police saying he's just a headline chaser and all that sort of stuff.
A fanatic headline
Yeah.
chaser. That's pretty good. That
Nothing is substantiated, no proof, no evidence. It's just Watson's opinion.
And when he's talking about the $15 billion, he's talking about people's wages. So people have actually done the work to earn that money. You know what I mean? And you had an MIT
Emeritus Professor. Public and Social Economy at MIT, David Hayward.
And what was his words?
His words were basically, they've outlined all this stuff, but there's nothing in there, basically, that suggests money has actually gone to any criminals. He actually pointed out the real facts of the fact that in the lifetime of some of these jobs, i.e. Metro, Westgate Tunnel, whichever infrastructure project you want to name, it's gone the last 8 years, they went through a little thing called COVID as well, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, post-COVID, material costs have gone through the bloody
Went up
roof.
30%.
So if you priced a job before COVID, and you asked any builder this, because they were all crying about it because they said we're all out of money. They priced jobs before COVID. They had to do them after COVID because they're contractually bound. And price of fucking timber, price of everything has gone through the roof, concrete, whatever you name it, glass, everything's gone through the roof.
Look what
And
happened to
they're like-
Roberts Co. All their jobs priced pre-COVID.
Exactly.
Bang.
So if you're doing a job that's like a fit out or full of cladding and all that, you imagine what it's gone up through the roof, you know what I mean? Man,
100%.
the only thing that's been consistent with prices is the wages of the workers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was one thing they could count on that wasn't going up at a skyrocketing rate, you know?
And they can allow for it because our wages are locked in long-term EBAs.
That's right. That's
Correct.
why we have them, so people can
Indexed.
price them correctly. Because we have a 4-year EBA, so you know what you're going to get paid over the life
So
of the job.
who'd have thought this learned professor would come out and actually
Speak some sense.
speak the facts? And because Murray Furlong, who's the main man for Fair Work, he turned around and says, well, he believes the reports are correct because of what he's heard from inside Victorian officials from the government. So he clearly didn't do his homework either, and obviously this guy's just called them all out on it. And then who'd have thought a day later the police minister comes out and says none of these are facts.
Facts.
And we did. Look, Housto just touched on it as well. Look at the Westgate. You know, they're trying to blame us for contaminated soil. That's another cost of the job. But that's a part of their $15 billion. And we just heard from Housto about there's still asbestos on the job and all that sort of.
Not to mention, remember they got their steel from China and it was all covered in lead paint.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And like when we talk about that contaminated soil, is everybody forgetting who actually jacked up over it? It was concrete. It was contractors jacked up over it for almost a year and a half. It says we're not doing it because it's not in our budget. We didn't allow for this. The government's going, well, we didn't allow for it, but we give you the contract. So they argued for a long time over it. But should just blame the workers because they're the ones who went in there and actually fixed it and got the job done.
Same
Or
thing
still
happened.
trying to get
Remember
the
the
job
EJ Whitten Bridge, all the asbestos there?
Yep,
no
yep.
one wanted to pay to get rid of it.
The old tip.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know?
Who would have thought there'd be asbestos at an old tip?
And we've had it at Pit Lane, the new Pit Lane. That was full of asbestos because it was an old tip, but they've actually done it, got rid of it all, dug it up and done it properly, and the job's going to go ahead.
There you go. what do you know?
And then you also look at and trial a lot of the stuff, trial by media. Nick McKenzie's been running against the union and against all of us and saying how we're all crooks and like we have said, some of that stuff in that report, we've got to earn the whack. It's it's not all good, but we're trying to work through it. But then you look at old Nick McKenzie. What happened with him this week, Sparrow?
$700,000 hush money.
Just a sleek at 700.
Yeah, I just read
Sleeky little sling there.
they were paying for the lady's lawyer as well, $200,000. And then she was going to sue Channel 9, so they gave her a $700,000 bit of hush money.
And that's from the top two. That's the board. Everyone signs off on that.
So we're talking about bullying.
They wanted a
systematically
suppression order, so you couldn't
in there to
reveal
begin
it.
with, and now we've got someone like Nick McKenzie, who's apparently this honourable person. His ethics are not. He's been caught on tape, by the way, saying my ethics are.
Completely stuffed.
If anyone finds out about this, I'll be fucked.
This is ethically wrong.
This is ethically wrong. So that's his own words. If you don't believe his own words, I don't know who else you'd believe. Yeah. And then
he's probably someone I wouldn't believe.
To a witness now.
A witness and a gag order for 50 years. Is that corruption? Maybe I'm pushing for. I think we should put Channel 9 into administration, and I want to appoint Warren.
They should be in administration just for the bullying that the claims they've had.
Just some of the dribble, you know what I mean?
I think it was 60% of the staff at Channel 9 reported being bullied.
But if you look at all sides of Parliament, no one's going to call them out because they're all afraid of them. I mean, and it doesn't matter if you're Labour, Liberal, or even One Nation. One Nation's actually come out, and I was laughing at one of the senators coming out and saying, "Oh, this is corruption of the highest order with the CFMEU." I was sitting going, wasn't Pauline Hanson going to sell all her voting rights to the NRA in America?
Yeah.
So where's her values at? Now she's owned by the richest woman in
Gina Reinhardt,
Mrs. Reinhardt.
The workers' boss.
Yeah, but she's all about the people though. But she'll take the money from the
Yeah.
And we have, and I want to mention it because it's all tied up together. You look at some of these infrastructure jobs. The reason they do these big jobs is to stimulate the economy because construction workers, we're good at one thing, we're good at spending money. And when we earn money, everyone earns money because we go through the community and all that.
You pay your taxes.
Back
to the coffers.
Our members are paying more taxes than all these multinationals. And one of the big things, and we're having a bit of a blue with the government, and you've heard us say it, and we're not walking away. It doesn't matter what's coming down the pipe. The government's trying to push back our licensing of trades. It's gone through the upper house. It's got to go through. It's gone through the lower house, and we've got that mixed up. But now they're holding back. They want to push it back. Well, part of that is because they're talking about trying to bring workers in from India that help this housing shortage. Well, let's commit to training more apprentices and putting more apprentices on these jobs.
That's a big thing we want in the next DBA, apprenticeship ratio. So it has to.
And we're doing our apprentice trainer down there, Liam Mahern, our apprentice organiser. He's doing an order at the moment. Some of these big builders on these big build jobs and subbies don't have any apprentices. There's one we'll name shortly, but there's one that hasn't got any. So we'll name in the next couple of weeks.
This won't be a quick fix either, but in the next 10 years, hopefully we don't have a shortage of trades and we can keep going. With all these data centres and all that, whether it's carpenters, brickies, sparkies, plumbers, we need everyone.
We better go into Scallywags. So we've got a few this week.
Jeez, it's a big pull.
Collingwood.
Oh, how bad is that?
Speaking of leftover money, if you have any.
If you have any.
We might do that as a concrete gang. You want to leave all your assets to the concrete gang. Collingwood would put out to their members, if you want, you can will.
It's easy to change your will and you can give it to us.
So
make them a non-binding beneficiary.
The biggest club in the land wants more money. Then Nick McKenzie.
Who else we got?
Channel 9.
Jackie Felgate.
Jackie Felgate, obviously. Who else?
Any builders?
Pretty much all the gutter journalists out there.
Who are we going with?
Channel 9 and the whole team there.
Yeah, Nick McKenzie, Channel 9. Sookie.
Oh, well, hell, the Westgate Tunnel Project, we didn't chuck them in there.
The asbestos doors.
Nomination.
Yeah.
Asbestos doors, Trying to get out of that one. That's
a big one.
Yep.
Oh, that's a late mailer.
So who are we going there for the Scallywag?
You got to go Nick McKenzie. $700,000, like that's a bit steep,
Whether
isn't
it's
it?
him or his bosses, it's not ideal.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Where's their ethics there?
And Sookie Lala, who are we going with Sookie Lala? I'm thinking Watson. He'd be sooking because everyone's calling out how much of a goose he is with that $15 billion statement.
What was he getting paid a year, I wonder?
I wonder what's his crack?
You've been listening to a 3CR podcast produced in the studios of independent community radio station 3CR in Melbourne, Australia. For more information, go to allthews.3cr.org.au. You've been listening to a 3CR podcast produced in the studios of independent community radio station 3CR in Melbourne, Australia. For more information, go to allthews.3cr.org.au.